Alright, on this episode of Too Much Outdoors, we're restoring this axe head, putting a handle on it, and making a sheath. Stick around. This axe was my grandfather's. I found it in his shed. I'm not sure how long it was there, but it was all rusty and the handle was rotted off. I'm not sure if he ever used it or he just had it as like a garage sale find. But I thought it'd be something cool to have of his and to restore it properly. I picked up this hickory axe handle at the local Ace Hardware. I believe it was just under $20. Here I'm just using the grinder and the flapping wheel just to kind of work down the shoulder of the axe so it accepts the head a little bit better. This product that I'm about to use on the axe head is called cold gun bluing. It's made by birch wood casey. It basically prevents rust and it gives it kind of like that blue finish like gun barrels have. So I'm just using the brake cleaner right now to clean all the dust and all the debris off the axe head so it adheres to it good. Here it is, Permablue. That little bottle was about $6-7 off Amazon. It came like the next day. I gotta be honest, I didn't read the directions on the bottle. I was too excited to just pour it on there. So that's basically what I did here. Just poured it on a rag, then ended up just pouring it directly on the axe head. You can see how instant a reaction it does to the surface of the metal. Not sure if I'm supposed to be wearing gloves or not, but I'm not blue now, so I think I'm alright. Alright, so there it is with one coat. So for the second coat, I soaked that part of a t-shirt in, some of it, and let it sit in there wet for a little while, and that really darkened up the metal. Here I got some 800 grit sandpaper. I'm just gonna scuff up the surface a little bit, maybe smooth it out. Figured I would see if I could get it a little bit darker, so I let it soak in the t-shirt rag a little bit longer. Alright, and there we go. That's how it turned out after about 3 or 4 coats. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, here's a little before and after, about 5-10 minutes apart. There we go, it's fitting on there pretty good. This is the wedge that's going to hold the axe head on. I'm just trimming it down a little bit with a razor knife. oscillating tool to just cut the wood flush with the top of the axe head. Here I'm using a fixed blade knife to scrape the varnish / clear coat off the handle. Alright, before we go any farther, let's test this thing out, make sure it works.
There you go.
Yep, that should do. Margot's turn. It's getting a good color. Alright, I'm gonna try to finish this axe up today. Been using it a little bit, so I scraped all the varnish off the handle. It's just getting kind of dirty now, but I haven't oiled it yet, so I'm gonna hit it with a little sandpaper. Alright, I got the handle sanded, and I oiled the head just a little bit because it started to rust, but the bluing's holding up pretty good. Split a few logs with it, and it's staying the color it's supposed to be. So I got some boiled linseed oil here in a cup. I'm just gonna pour some in my hand. We'll just kind of get that handle. This will protect the handle from water damage and stuff getting dirty. It'll be slippery at first, but it'll soak in. Putting a little oil in there will make that wood expand. Alright, I'll let that soak in for a little bit, and I'll show you what else I'm going to do to it. So here's the plan. We're going to make a leather sheath for this axe. I wanted to show you a couple of other leather projects I've done before. This one I did a really long time back when I was in Boy Scouts. Here's a knife I made for Margot with her initials in it. Here's the famous squirrel knife, the Minecraft squirrel. That's a file knife with a Coco Bolo handle. There's actually magnets in there to hold the sheath on. Here's a Leatherman sheath that I made. Slips right in there. Got a little belt loop. Here's my Heritage Rough Rider. I made this sheath for it. Got the belt loop. And a snap to hold it. We're just gonna line this up kind of with the axe. I think I'm gonna sandwich these two pieces together. I'm probably just gonna keep like about 3/4 of an inch. You can always cut more material off. And I was thinking like a flap folds over, and then it'll button here and then button here. Up there. Somewhere in here. So something along those lines, and we'll finish that line off. Get a new blade out, so we're good and sharp. Now this is the back side of this leather. This is the finished side. So we did that because this is going to be on the back side, and we'll put a face plate for the next one. That'll be able to fold over. We'll be able to get some snaps on there. Okay, for the other side, this will be the front side. We're not going to need these flaps, so we're just going to flip this around, trace it out almost exactly, minus the flaps. So we can even kind of just use that as a guide to cut. So instead of flap, we'll just go straight across the top there. Now we'll be able to sandwich those two together, add some snaps on there. So I think the first thing we'll do is we'll put one pin right there in the corner. So this is what I have. These pins come in two pieces. Got like the male side and the female side, and they'll snap together. Whack them together with a hammer, and they'll kind of mushroom out, and they'll hold really well. Line that hole up. So that'll push there. I'm gonna go through that. And this, you'll kind of smash those two together just with your fingers. I'm gonna get it where you want it. Then I got just a smooth piece of metal and a smooth face hammer. You'll just kind of whack those right together. That flattens them on both sides, and that's not coming apart. We'll add a couple more up the face. Maybe one here. Yeah, I believe I got these pins from Joann Fabrics, but I think you can order them off Amazon as well. So yeah, we got all our pins on the front. You can go through with some sandpaper and round those corners if you want. Slip that in there. Looks like it's sitting in there pretty good. It'll stretch out a little bit too, so it's about how it's sitting in there. There we go. So we'll get some snaps right in there. Alright, so I'm going to do these snaps next. The snaps are two separate pieces. Inside piece, and then the outside piece. Then you also have the smooth finish. They normally come with this little thing that'll sit down in there. And then this side will fit in there so you don't mess up the surface. It'll stay rounded. Spot about there in the center. So that'll push through there. Then that'll cradle that to keep it round. And as you hit it, mushrooms the inside of it out. Now that's secured on there really well. Get it where it'll normally sit. And pull that tight. And just kind of push that right there. And see how it left a little indent right there? So we'll mark that spot out. Same thing with this. Pull this nice and tight. Push that, left an indent. So we'll take this piece of metal. That's what's nice having this chunk of metal. You can put it inside there. That'll hold that on there. Through. That sits on there. There we go. So that's secured on both sides, and we'll be able to snap that. Alright. Check it out. Those little flaps will stretch out a little bit, so it's okay if they're tight at first. If we wanted to, we could add a belt loop to it, but I feel like this axe is just too big to be carrying it on your belt. Add some boiled linseed oil, same as with the handle. They make stain for leather, but this oil will just bring out the natural color of this. And after that, you can even add a little beeswax to waterproof it. This leather's super dry, so it'll soak all this oil up. That oil really gives that leather a good color. Can't quite get your project to fit in there. If you just keep working it, you can even soak the whole leather in water. Let it dry out, and you'll be able to stretch it right on there. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching Too Much Outdoors. We'll see you on the next one. Click subscribe. Alright, if you liked this video and want to see more, click subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.